Assalamu alaikum. This is Aisha El Hajar from Amani Birth, and we are with the Thursday Amani Changed My Life series. Uh-oh, there's echo on your end. Maybe not. So today we're here with Amani El Hajar. Amani is actually my daughter, the namesake of Amani Birth. And Amani has some pretty exciting news about her relationship with Amani Birth today. So I want to start, Amani. Of course, how did you come to know about Amani Birth is kind of a silly question because did you ever not know Amani Birth?
I guess not.
You were kind of born into it, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was.
Exactly. So Amani was born. What year were you born, Amani?
2010.
And do you know what year Amani Birth started?
I think it was 2010.
Actually, I started teaching childbirth in 2010, but we didn't actually have the Amani Birth program per se until 2012. And it was before you were 2 years old. So, you were born in September and it started like maybe in May. So at the end of the day, like Amani Birth is almost as old as you are. So I want to ask you, what's your relationship with Amani Birth today that's different than maybe a month ago?
Well, I mean, because I just finished my course with my Amani course.
Okay, so you just finished your course with Amani. So what does that mean? What do you mean you finished your course with Amani?
Well,
which course?
the CBE course.
The childbirth educator course, right? So Amani has actually taken the training to be a childbirth educator or a doula. Now we have plenty of young Amani Birth trainees, but by far you're the youngest. And you're how old?
10.
10. So what made you, I mean, you've been sitting on my knee in my lap through classes for, since you were, as far back as you can remember. You've always been in the classes. You've seen the videos, you've seen the moms and the ladies taking the classes. What made you decide that you wanted to actually be in the class this time around? You wanted to actually be a participant and have a book and do the homework and sit through all the lessons. What made you decide to do that?
Well, every time I was always sitting in your class, I always thought, I wonder what it would be like if I were actually in the class. And I see everyone around me that were throughout my life that were going on to certify, and I wondered, I wonder what's so interesting about it, and what it would be like to actually do all of these things and the homework and everything. And so I asked you if I could be in your next course.
Okay. And so was it different being in the class than sitting by my side, just kind of being in and out as a kid? Was it different being actually enrolled?
I would say yes, because I felt like I was actually a participant. I was actually doing the things that instead of watching everyone else do it and just seeing what they were to do, I was doing it too. And I was choosing how I would answer the question.
Okay. And what do you think is the biggest thing that you're going through the class?
Can you repeat that?
What was the biggest thing that you learned going through the class?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Tell me anything that you learned going through the class.
Well, one thing that I learned is that when teaching in a Amani class, it's very important to acknowledge the fathers, because some of them might not want to be there, and we want them to be there. So we want to acknowledge them and to thank them for being there.
Absolutely. The dad's role is very, very important. And sometimes the dads don't realize their role is important. And they come to that first class and maybe they're not really that interested in being in the class, like you said. And it's so important. I tell the moms, it's your job to get your husband to come to class 1, but it's our job to get him to come back. And we do that, first of all, by acknowledging their presence. It's a big deal that the dads are there. And we want to really thank all the dads who come to the Amani classes. We always say that Amani dads are the best. Amani dads rock. So I'm glad that you brought up the dads. That's really important. So what about your dad? When you think about your dad and his role with Amani Birth?
Well, I mean, I doubt that you would have wanted to pursue it and complete your career without him, because he's been so supportive, and I think that it's really interesting how when I was born he it was an eye opener for him, and I thought that was very, very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Your dad's been a true supporter. You're right. It's very special. And why do you think it's interesting about your dad's participation when you were born? What about that do you know? I'm sure you don't remember. So what do you know of the story of your own birth?
I know that you were laying in bed and that you were moaning, and you thought to yourself, am I moaning because I need to, or am I moaning because I want to wake Muhammad up, my dad?
Right. That's true.
Right.
That's true. Yep.
And then you told him, maybe you shouldn't go to work today. And then you thought to yourself, but maybe you should.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was actually in labor. You're right. I was like, gosh, is this real labor? Maybe he should go to work. Maybe he shouldn't go to work. You're right. I wasn't sure. Absolutely.
And I think that a few minutes later you got up and went to the bathroom, and right as you stood up, you had a contraction that dropped you to your knees,
Yeah.
and you were yelling Alhamdulillah. I think you were yelling Ya Rabbi too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then
Yes, I was making dicker. Yeah.
yeah, you were making dicker. And then my dad, he heard that, and he was obviously scared for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he tried every way to open the door, and he was yelling at you to open the door, but you couldn't. And then
I had the door locked. Right. You couldn't get in.
yeah, and you in between a contraction and another one, you managed to lean over and unlock the door, and then Dad started asking you questions like, should I bring you a towel? Should I get you a chair? Should I do this? Should I do that? And then you said, just get me a towel, because he had brought you into your neocortex, and then
Right. He brought me into my neocortex. That means that he interrupted my instinctual behavior and brought me into my thinking brain. That's right. And I screamed at him, just bring me a towel. You know why I wanted a towel?
Because babies are slippery.
Because babies are slippery. You're right. They are. Mashallah.
And then he came with the towel, and he did, and I think he ended up bringing you a chair too.
Yes, he did.
And you were still doing liquor when he had already caught me, and he said, Aisha, I have the baby. You can stop now.
Yes, I was like, Ya Rabbi, astaghfirullah. It's like, I've got the baby. You can stop. I didn't even know you came out of my body. You're right. You're right. So you know quite a bit about your own birth story, mashallah.
I forgot the shush, don't wake the kids part.
Yeah, he did. He yelled at me and said, hush, you're going to wake the kids, but that's a whole nother story. Alhamdulillah, mashallah. So let me ask you this. You've taken the Imani birth training. Are you thinking that you will be an Imani birth teacher someday? You want to teach moms, pregnant moms, and help them get ready for birth?
Well, I mean, someday, inshallah, but definitely not, probably not now.
Okay. And why not now? You don't feel like you're ready, or you don't feel you're old enough, or what?
Nah, I'm not ready.
Not ready. Okay. What about being a sidekick? How about if you were teaching with me or with another teacher?
That would work.
That would work. I could see you being a sidekick and helping out, right? You know this stuff. You actually, I have to say, you probably know more about the process of pregnancy and childbirth than most adult women do. You know that, right?
Oh, when you put it that way.
It's true, don't you think?
I guess you could say that.
If you had one piece of advice to give a mom who's newly pregnant, what would be your biggest advice to her?
To try and shop around, and if you don't want to take Imani, at least get yourself educated, and get yourself educated in the best way.
Right. Get educated for your birth. It doesn't matter if it's a Imani birth or another program. Of course, we'd love for you to come to a Imani birth, but even if it was a different program, it doesn't matter. All the programs out there are good, and we want moms to be educated to make informed decisions, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. And shop around. Do you mean shop around for a childbirth education class? Is that what you mean?
Both. To shop around for the right doctor, and for the right everyone in the birth room, and for the and for the right childbirth classes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. You need to have the best care provider, and shopping around before you're in the labor room pushing a baby out is important. Is there anything that you think that they should be looking for in a doctor in particular?
If they're if they're going to support their decisions.
Do you want to shop for a doctor that's going to support the mom's decisions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, good. And is there anything that you would like to share with dads?
It would make a big difference if they were there for the mother, and if they took part in it, and anything that happened in the labor room had to be taken to the grave and so it'd make a big difference if he were there.
Right. So anything that happens in the labor room, she's going to remember. What you mean by take to the grave, she's going to remember that for the rest of her life, right?
Yes.
Yes. And so whatever happens in the labor room, she's going to remember for the rest of her life. And if he's there and supportive, she's going to remember that for the rest of her life. Is that what you mean?
Yep.
Yep, exactly. So I agree. It's really important for dads to be aware and present. And, I think that it's important for dads to realize if you're going to be in the labor room, you need to know like what's going on. You need to be able to make decisions. You need to be able to work with your wife. Just being there is wonderful, but being there and being knowledgeable actually is going to change the dynamic of the entire experience for both him and the wife. So I think that's really huge. Thank you so much for sharing that. So Amani, what influenced you to engage with Amani Birth? What was the biggest reason? You just wanted to see what it was like to be in the class, or what was the biggest influence in your engagement with Amani? With Amani Birth, you are Amani.
I think I just wanted to know what it would be like, and I wanted an excuse to be able to read the book.
Aww. And have you read the book now?
Not entirely, but I'm on chapter 15.
Oh, that's halfway through. That's halfway through the book. Great. I wonder the other girls that took the class with you, because how many people were in your class? Do you remember?
6.
There were 6 in your class. I wonder if any of the rest of them have read all the way to chapter 15 yet. You're doing great, mashallah.
I think most of them have already read it.
Yeah, maybe. Some of them are probably still going through it. So how has your engagement with Amani Birth changed your life? That's usually what we're asking. How has your engagement that changed your life? Has it changed your life to go through the class?
Yeah.
In what way?
Then it's interesting how like when I took the course, every moment I was thinking, this is not the course for the mothers. This is the course to teach them.
Right.
And every second I was thinking, am I signing up to be a teacher soon?
That's exactly what the course is all about, to be a teacher or to be a doula. Can you imagine being in the birth room and supporting a mom through her labor?
Well, I mean, at 10 years old, maybe not.
Okay. So you think you'll resit the class later when you get bigger?
Possibly.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience, Amani?
Nope. Not really.
Nope. All right. Well, I think, Amani, that, I usually ask people, so you agree that Amani Birth has been a life-changing journey, but I'm going to tell you something, Amani. Your life and your existence and the inspiration that you were, especially to your father and I, has changed the lives of many people around the world. I don't know if you recognize that. Of course, you've grown up with everybody, knowing the Amani Birth name, and you've had a lot of attention, out of 8 brothers and sisters, because you are Amani of Amani Birth. So you've had a lot of attention. But I don't know if you really recognize that because of your existence, your father and I did this program, and because of your existence, we're reaching women all around the world, and they're having better birth experiences, and it's all because of you, Amani. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first and foremost. But if you were never born, Amani Birth would never be born. And so I really want you to hold your head up high, Amani, and I want you to recognize that you are actually changing people's lives just by being you. So thank you so much, Amani. I love you so much. Jazakallah khair. And you have a great day, and I'll see you soon because you're in the other room. Bye, Amani.
Bye.